Enggak, matiin kalau lagi nggak ini. Gue tiap sesi
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So the one that you have seen our video is basically showing the strength, one of the strength also from Wardah. Why? Because Wardah is having the third pillar, that is the global local expert collaboration. We have the biggest cosmetic R&D, the research and development center in Southeast Asia. Wardah collaborate with so many experts around the world to produce only the best quality to ensure our standard is a high certified products. So if you can see here, some of our example of the products, some are the skincares, some are the our have a serum, and we also have our foundation, the complexion. It's all basically we are having the formulation of our product. We are enriching it. We are formulating it with our global expert collaboration. Some of it to name, like for example our Hydro Rose, and we also have our lip cream and also our eye color pigment, the Grande Frontier. So Wardah Integrated Halal Assurance System. We are Wardah as the #1 halal beauty brand in Indonesia. Wardah is committed to drive the global halal industry through breakthrough innovation derived from Integrated Halal Assurance System. What does it mean by the Integrated Halal Assurance System? So we ensure, starting from the beginning of our sourcing of the raw materials itself, we only ensure that only the halal certified that we are produced and the one that we are formulated. The first one is the global health collaboration. Wardah Skin Innovation has collaborated more than 300 experts in 25 countries in the world. And we are internally in Wardah Paragon. We have more than 200 young innovators ready to develop new products each year. The second one, we create the global halal raw material that we utilize only the halal certified finest ingredients from around the world, and we only collaborate with halal certified principles raw materials. In here, we want to convey, because we are committed, we are a halal pioneer #1 beauty brand in Indonesia. So we ensure starting from the beginning up to the halal production process, we only ensure the halal certified. That's what we call the sustainable halal beauty products. Here, to share with you on the last our participation in the IFSCC, rethinking the Beauty Science Congress, we joined there in September during this year. Please watch this video. Enjoy. Thank you very much. This one is our participation last time in Barcelona from our R&D team. Move on to the next. All right. Next. Okay. So with the expertise and technology, definitely Wardah, because when the science meets the art of the beauty, the possibilities are limitless. In Wardah, we strive for the perfection. Our relentless scientific research is fueled by a commitment to staying at the forefront of the beauty innovation. Because being innovative resulted in breakthrough crafted by the global class expert. Wardah, with the strong scientific foundation, the expertise of our dedicated scientists to deeply understand the every needs of the consumers. We are not just cosmetic creators. We are problem solvers because innovating to make people's life easier. So here are several of the examples that we are using the AI skin analysis. Also, we have a VTO, the virtual try-on, so that our consumer can be very easily access to our product and all the sharing about the benefits out of our products. We also bring the beauty science lab experience to the store to immersive consumer experience. That's how us as a Wardah, how to be able leading and giving the best for the consumer's experience. Here, revealing the total expert image of a Wardah, a science-powered skincare, Wardah always innovates a strong scientific foundation in a very step of the way that we do. The experts need to understand the every skin needs, formulated by the global class expert to deliver high performance with the visible result. So Wardah science-powered skincare, we ensure and we believe to this science with the beauty, the impossibilities is a very big thing. Okay, so that's basically from me in talking about the halal green beauty. I'll pass it on to Ayana. Ayana, please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Annyeonghaseyo. I'm Ayana Jaemin from South Korea, and then today I'm here as a brand ambassador of WardahBeauty. And I'm so grateful to talk about which is Wardah's another initiative, Highlight Green Beauty, as someone who believe in the sustainability. And honestly, I'm not an activist, and also activism is not my thing at all. Before that, back then during, I think, COVID era, I was back to Korea, and then I worked for the former Secretary General of UN, who is Mr. Ban, about his climate and sustainability project, which happened at the National Assembly of Korea. And then also this year, I met the new CMO of WardahBeauty, who is Busara, and then she shared her plan that she wants to enter the Korean market to embrace like the Ummah in South Korea. And then I told her that then you must accept and develop like more pillars related to the sustainability, especially like green beauty. Because that one is like something we cannot prevent. This already happening in all over the world. Then we cannot just passive, we cannot just overlook, the new change in our world. And also, at that time, the reason why I share Wardah about my idea related to the highlight green beauty is because my goal is always idealistic, yet my plan is always realistic. And whenever I see all of the journey of Wardah, I always think that Wardah is capable to do it as a pioneer of highlight green beauty in Indonesia. So here I will just present like what Wardah has done for a while, and then like it's only like a 2 slides and it will be very short, so please focus on it. So like first of all, now Wardah is doing the highlight green beauty, which relate to the cruelty-free and natural and organic ingredients, and then they use like all of the non-harmful ingredients for the product. So like actually the sustainability includes like many pillars. And also, before that, I only thought that green is only about just green. However, I realized that through the way that Wardah has doing is also related to the sustainability. It's not like, I also urge you another activities as well. However, they also do what what the Islam teaches us, which is like La'natul Alamin, the mercy on all the creatures. So like they use like all the resources and the ingredients from like a nature and ethical way. So okay, so this is what WardahBeauty is doing. So WardahBeauty actually sources all the fragments through the ethical way. They also minimize the formula, and then they do the fast rinses technology, and then it's also the important that they are doing something which they reduce the carbon emission, which make like so many the global warming and also all the disaster, the natural disaster in the world. However, before that, honestly, I share to Mbak Elsa and Mbak Bia about my idea about the WardahBeauty's like initiative, which is like maybe WardahBeauty also will mention later. It's also related to the next slide, I guess. Oh, I think they already came.
Kamu nggak pakai sunscreen? Kan skincare.
They already, I think, remove it, but like I actually suggest them to use to make the skincare and cosmetic container with the recycling ingredients from the plastic. Because that one, I think like now what WardahBeauty is doing is just halfway of the Halal Green Beauty. So like WardahBeauty, which produce lots of bottles, can also take the movement first, or so that become the true pioneer of the green beauty in Indonesia. That's my idea. And also perhaps WardahBeauty can make a refill center so that all the people, they use WardahBeauty product and then they bring all the empty container, go to refill center and then fill the new cosmetic and skincare that also can protect our society and also environment. The reason why I want to focus on this, I want to stress on this issue is it's not only about our lives, but also relate to our children and then our grandchildren. This world is not only for us. The Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala created this world, but this one is not only for us, but also our related children. So I will pass the next slide to the Sister Gujel. Thank you so much.
Kamu nggak pakai sunscreen? Kan di skincare, bukannya glowing, malah berminyak dan lengket. Skincare doang nggak bisa melawan bahaya sinar UV. Skin barriermu butuh proteksi. Baru dari Wardah UV Shield Airy Smooth dengan teknologi Skin Boost DNA didevelop oleh skin expert in France. Pertahankan skin barrier langsung ke level DNA kulit. Dengan centella dan bara mineral, kulit semakin sehat dan cerah. Airy Smooth Finish, fresh sepanjang hari. Nomor 1 sunscreen di Indonesia. Wardah UV Shield defense skin barrier hingga DNA level.
Thank you. So this was, can everybody hear me? Yeah. So I can use this mic. Okay, awesome. So this was a presentation of our newest product. It's an Airy Smooth sunscreen. Actually, it's one of my favorite products from Wardah. I'm really concerned about the pollution, especially in Jakarta. And I've been living there for the last. It's really rare to see a blue sky. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is the only problem I would say, that makes me feel like, I want to go back to France sometimes to see the blue sky. But alhamdulillah, I mean, we have solutions, right? So it's like about sunscreen, for instance, and proper taking care of our health, hydrating ourselves, etc. Skin at all. And I was really impressed by the technology. They really dived deep into the details of it, into the ingredients. Just like Ayana was mentioning, that are ethically sourced. I tried, I loved it. And I would like to invite you to try it and love it too. So if it is possible to have 3 volunteers who would love to try the new product from WardahBeauty, and we're going to be actually seeing it on the UV blue screen on like the level of protection. Anybody here would like to try? Wow, so many! Oh my gosh. You really want to be touched by me, right? No, you guys are going to be trying by yourself. So, okay, I'll close my eyes once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I see one from here. So I think, yeah, you please. Yes. You can come here. You, yeah. And, yeah. No, sorry, in the red scarf, yes. She was first. Okay, last person. Go ahead. Okay. So this is my assistant Farah today. Thank you so much, Farah. She came all the way from Indonesia to demonstrate this. So as I can see, we have 3 types of sunscreens, right, Farah? Yes, awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Ayana. She came all the way from Malaysia to help. This one? Farah, are the 2 liquid sunscreens are the same ones or they're different? They're the same ones. Okay, so we got 2 liquid sunscreens that are same, and they have the like I said, like Air Smooth DNA boost technology, and then we got the stick. So the stick is super convenient when you want to reapply sunscreen, you know, because obviously like when you already have makeup on and already outside when working or traveling, it's like not easy to wash your hands and sanitize and then put the liquid sunscreen on. So this has been happening now, like having a stick sunscreen, but alhamdulillah now we have a halal version of it from Wardah. So sorry, can I know your names? Hello, can I know your name, please?
Carissa.
Carissa, do you see yourself, like, how does it feel?
I see it. The black is. So the technology that's in this sunscreen is it's doing its thing, you know. It's what is it? The UV protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it has a skin boost DNA technology, and I just want to, if I can, just for borrow for a second, I just want to show this camera. So maybe some of the skincare enthusiasts have seen this, on like TikTok and Instagram. They love showing the level of protection of your sunscreen. So this is basically, can you please describe?
Untuk teksturnya yang ini tadi saya coba lembut, gampang juga buat dipakai. Karena kalaupun misalnya kita mau pakai untuk touch up, tidak perlu sentuhan tangan lagi, kita langsung oleskan aja ke muka kita. Itu lebih simple dan buat protect our skin juga.
So basically she's saying that it was really easy to apply. It was very smooth and light, and she feels like it's like quite innovative to have a stick, like sunscreen in a stick. And I actually must say, you don't have to reapply it several times. When I first tried this one, it's like you don't feel it, and I'm like lagi gitu ya. But actually, after I used the this UV camera, I applied once, it's already black, so it means like it's working,
My impressions. Okay. So whenever I look for sunscreen, I'm an advocate for sunscreen, even if it's not sunny, I wear sunscreen. Inside, I wear sunscreen. This is like the base, like primer. You can just use sunscreen. But I also opt for like no white cast. So I was surprised, like when I used this, there was no white cast. And it was super light. I think it's what you call comparable to a lot of brands that I've used in the past, and they come out of Sephora and stuff like that. So like it was really nice to like try this on. Yeah.
Awesome. So you can keep these sunscreens as well. Yeah. Thank you so much for trying and volunteering. Thank you. There are more people who want to try something. Enggak banyak, 3 aja. Mungkin Jakarta, kapan datang Jakarta? So, thank you so much once again. So basically, I just want to mention, I'm a Muslim from France, and I tried all this French beauty stuff, and I was like, okay, this is the best in the world, just like many French think, Unfortunately, we're like that. But when I tried Wardah products, I was like, wait, this is made in Indonesia, but this is like better than French? Is it real? No, seriously. I'm working for Wardah, but I'm not paid for this. Yeah, alhamdulillah. And then I asked myself a question. Okay, the quality is good, but why a makeup has to be halal? This was something like interesting because, we use makeup anyway, even if there is no halal option, right? So I was like thinking, okay, like I'm not eating it. I'm not like, I don't know, there's no alcohol, there's no meat or like pork inside. I was wrong, there was pork inside. So subhanAllah, just to give you a little bit of explanation, for instance, some of the colors in the lipstick could be coming from an animal or from a plant. And those companies, they're not vegan, and not animal cruelty, for instance, right? So they will be using some of the ingredients that are being sourced from animal. And let's say you have a lipstick from an ingredient like that, identify it, it's usually hidden behind like numbers or chemical names. That's where, like, let's say you're putting it, and women actually consume their lipstick in a way like we take it internal, right? So when we eat, the lipstick goes inside of our body, and it becomes part of the food. And that's where I was like, okay, it does make sense to have halal, lipstick at least, because it definitely goes inside of my body. So this is something that I was personally impressed as a Muslim who never had an exposure to halal cosmetics. So just for those folks here who's like, why it has to be halal, I know I have these questions. I know that's why you didn't ask it. That's why I'm like, okay, let me just mention. This is one of the things that I found out, but there are so many other ways to make products non-halal. I'm not even talking about the ethical or organic part of it, right? I'm talking about like just the halal part. And that's it from me. Hello, I'll pass you to close up the session. Well, thank you, Guzal, for a lovely demo, and congrats to the ladies that got to take home sunscreen that the rest of us won't get. I want to also just transition to our last session and call back up the lovely lady that just sat down. To moderate this panel, and we have new panelists joining, and so I will hand it off. Actually, I just got great news. Well, great news for those 3 people that were on the stage, but maybe bad news for others. Joking. So, alhamdulillah, Ambanav is very generous. She brought extra 3 bags to give to those volunteers. Please come and get your goodies for volunteering for the session. It was great to have having you try. Yeah, Mbak Harisma, right? And then Ibu, ada Ibu dengan hijab yang okay. Ibu Lida mungkin bisa karena so this a lot of Indonesian audience are coming because of a strong support of Indonesian embassy, and I would love Belita to give these gifts personally. Yeah. Just please come here, the volunteers. I tried to go up to make it easy, but they like difficult ways. Okay. Mashallah. Makasih. Makasih banyak, Belita. Yeah. So we can have a little bit of interaction, Thank you so much, Mbak Novia. I'm gonna, sorry, Ayana, I have to keep you here again. Is it okay? Is it okay if I keep her here? She's like, mashallah, so pretty. Let's enjoy the K-pop in a halal way. Yeah. So I'm actually having the next session with amazing speakers, including Ayana. I would like to invite Melanie Elter, founder of Hijab, coming all the way from the US to be part of this show. Putri Tanjung. And Asmal Badawi. You want to hear more girl about you? You want to hear more? You promised us? So this session will be about brave beauties and halal lifestyle. This movement and how you experience it and how you contributed to this movement in your own industries and what you do. I learned, a about everybody. And I know a lot about some of you. I know a little bit about others, but I'm very, very impressed with everything that you girls achieved, mashallah. So let's talk more in details and get to know each other. And I would like to begin with the first speaker. This is the newest person that I ever met, like from Indonesia, that I hear today. Mashallah, Putri, like so inspiring. Of course, like I actually got to know that I'm a moderator like almost last moment too. So I have to like do research, and then I was like, wow, mashallah, like this is impressive. Like you're 27-year-old, and like everything that you do is making impact already, and that's great. So I would like to give a little introduction before you introduce yourself. I know better than me. Putri Tanjung, I would like to. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How amazing is that, right? Like you can hear Azan. We're talking about dunya in it, but then voila, reminder, right? Alhamdulillah, I think it's such a privilege to live in a country that is Muslim friendly. And okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I was talking about Putri Tanjung. Actually, I would like to make a short introduction, Putri, if you allow me, so that you can do then later a deeper one. I'm so excited to hear. So Putri Tanjung is a special steps to the President of Indonesia in creative economy and small medium enterprises. She is an entrepreneur and CEO of media group Powerhouse, Trans Digital Lifestyle Group. So Putri, please, can you introduce yourself now?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore semuanya. Masih semangat? Masih semangat ya. Harus, alhamdulillah. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so honored to be here, and I'm so happy to be a part of the Wardah family. Thank you for having me, and I'm so happy and honored to share the same stage with this amazing, extraordinary woman. Coming back to your question, if I can introduce myself, I always say that I'm a work in progress. I'm constantly evolving. I think I'm connected to be a lifelong learner, and I'm so privileged, alhamdulillah, to be able to lead several media companies. And I'm so happy that my media companies, we focus on empowering the young generation, especially women. And as the special staff to the President of the Republic of Indonesia, I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to create a lot of programs, initiate a lot of movement, especially about small medium enterprise. Let me talk a bit about small medium enterprises in Indonesia. It's so fascinating because we have more than 65 million small medium enterprises in Indonesia, and 65% are women-owned. So it's very amazing, and I got the opportunity. We created a program called Pahlawan Digital, or Digital Hero, and we scout a lot of startups and young innovators that help the small medium entrepreneurs to go digital and to thrive in their business. And I'm super excited, alhamdulillah. We already helped 800,000 small medium enterprises across Indonesia. It's all because of the young innovators of Indonesia, and so amazing. And we have 60% of the young innovators are women. So I'm very excited about. Together with the women, we also initiate Elevate Women, which is a platform for women leaders to get funding and also mentorship. So I'm super excited for everything that coming on my way. So that's a bit of an introduction. MashaAllah, thank you so much. This is beautiful, beautiful. I mean, when I was 27, okay, let's move on.
So, mashallah. And, like, as a woman in the creative media industry, what are the most significant challenges that you face? And how did you overcome them?
Yeah. The context of Indonesia is very big, very beautiful. We're the fourth largest populated country in the world, and we're filled with young people. 64% of our population are filled with millennials, Gen Z, and Alpha. So everyone is trying to enter the Indonesian market, which makes it super exciting, but also challenging at the same time because we're not competing with local brands or local players. We're competing with on a global scale. So I think the biggest challenge is that. So I think it's very important for us as a business owner. We have to always sharpen our competitive advantage. We have to be very innovative in business model. Usually we tweak our business model maybe once a year, but now we have to tweak our business models like daily or weekly, right? So it's very challenging, and also we need to be very adaptive and agile at the same time. I think it's very important. But as a women leader, of course, we face a lot of challenge. But in Indonesia now, the opportunity for women leaders are amazing. But we're still far from equality, but we're getting there. But I think the most important thing is we need to focus on our competency, and I think the most important thing is how we can collaborate together, support each other, like each other better, and support other women, and we'll bring other women to them as well. So yeah, I think we should focus on the solution of the challenge, which is if we have more privilege and more opportunity, we should open doors for other women leaders, and we should collaborate and focus on our strengths and capabilities.
Wow, cannot agree more. This is definitely true. I've been also working in the entrepreneur ecosystem for the last 8 years, and I do feel that there is a struggle for women as well, like especially in the investors. You know, so I was in the venture capital. I was the only woman at the table whenever we have discussions, and there might be jokes about like, oh, you're a Muslim, like, are you okay to be the second wife? So mashallah, like having leaders that are speaking up, and because you're a woman, you can actually push the presence of the women in the culture and in this industry, right? So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And to add on your point, because now, like for example, in Indonesia, right, there's a lot of women leaders, there's a lot of women-owned business, but only 1 out of 10 got funding from venture capital, right?
Exactly.
So we're still very far away.
Bismillah, but there is a brighter future with all of those women leaders and companies that are leading by example, right? And I would like to ask, actually, we all know here, especially people from Indonesia who are familiar with Indonesian industry and the market, about the legendary businessman, your father, mashallah, Charul Kanjung. Actually my husband is an entrepreneur and he does look up at your father. That's how I heard about him as well. And I'm so honored, like, also to know that, mashallah, like, this kind of people that are leading by example, also raising the kids that lead by example. And I'm so curious, and I'm pretty sure that everybody else is, how having such a, legendary leading example of your country, who happens to be your father, you're still able to not overshadow, but, be a woman that does also great things,
Yes, my father is an amazing father and an amazing entrepreneur. His name is Hairul Tanjung. Mungkin familiar di kuping ibu-ibu dan bapak di sini. So, fun fact, and to be brutally honest, when I was a teenager, I spent my teenage year just proving myself. I really want to be, off his shadow. Because he's a great entrepreneur, and I got pressure by it. But I think because of that, it drives me to embark on my own journey, build my own businesses. But then when I get older, and hopefully, inshallah, wiser, I started to realize that I should be very, very proud to have a father that is the only Muslim local conglomerate in Indonesia. and I learned a lot from him as well. And I think it's a privilege for me to be his daughter. And I think as a woman, a great privilege comes a very great responsibility. So I guess I need to work even harder to be able to realize and use my privilege to do good for other people, to open opportunities for other people. So yeah, and I think now I'm very grateful and very privileged that I'm able to help my father and hopefully to contribute more with all the resources and the privilege that we have.
Amazing. Your father must be so proud of you. MashaAllah. So I would like to apologize for the way I pronounced his name. I'm not Indonesian enough. Just like Hilal just now said, Juni. Juni. I have like a few British friends in GMW, and when they saw the name, I'm so excited to hear Juni Sandra. I'm like, wow, that sounds cute, yeah. So Khairu, right? So yeah. And what advice would you give to young women who are willing to exploit their potential in the media industry, which is totally male dominated, especially in Indonesia?
I think I'm still learning, but I think a very good advice that my mentor gave to me is we have to start everything with good intention. So I think good intention is very important. And second, uphold your values. You have to know yourself. And you have to know your values. You have to know what you believe in. That's what makes you authentic. So I think that's very important. Please learn, continue to learn, because I think that's the best advice that anyone has ever given to me. Continue learning and believe in your power. I think that's very important. Believe in yourself, believe in your power. And I think what I said to myself all the time is actually to trust my instinct, to follow my heart, and don't compare yourself to other people. Because when I was a teenager, I compare myself to other people every day, and it's very tiring. So I think we should stop comparing. We should stop comparing ourselves to other people. Focus on yourself. Be the best version of yourself. Remember that everyone has their own timeline. Remember that everyone has different process, different privileges, different story. So just focus on making your own.
Thank you so much. Great advice. So along with this, I know that you hold multiple roles. That apart from what I mentioned, apart from there's all the amazing, impactful projects that you do. Can you also share like what other roles that you share in your life? Like what is your other role apart from being a superwoman, just to build in a career, but in personal life? And how do you balance that?
So obviously I'm also a daughter and I'm a wife. Yeah, I'm also a wife, and how do I balance my life? To be honest, I'm still trying my best to juggle everything. I need to learn from all that. So as I do women here, I'm still juggling and learning. But I think it's just I have to set my priorities straight. I think we have to know, today what is my priority, tomorrow what is my priority, and what do I want to achieve. And I think sometimes it's okay to slow down. That's very hard for me to grasp actually, but it's okay sometimes to slow down. But yeah, you just have to know your priority, and I think by the end of the day, women are created very special because we can do a lot of different roles, but still surviving and looking good. So yeah, I think we just have to know our priorities.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Putri.
Thank you.
I will leave you alone now without asking more questions because I'm just like so curious. I never met her before. So when I heard about I heard about you being a new brand on social media because I do follow WardahBeauty. And then I was like, wow, like I've never seen her before because I'm a foreigner, I'm sorry. And then when I was reading about you, mashallah, like I think it's quite impressive, and I mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you for all of your endeavors in your personal life and your business and your contribution to Indonesian government as well. Thank you. I would like to pass to the second speaker. I've known her for the last probably 8 years because I'm her fan. Her name is Melody El Turk. I'm so honored, Melanie. Like, subhanAllah, like, you know, when I started to wear hijab, of course you look for those, you know, role models and empowered women. And subhanAllah, like, you cannot Google them. You cannot go, who's this inspiring Muslim woman that's wearing hijab and doing business, you know? And then somehow, like, on Instagram, you appeared. Actually, your brand appeared on Google first. And then I was like, who's the person behind it, you know? And lawyer, wow, from New York, wow. Stylish, wow. I'm like, okay, I'm following her, and you know, you've been cheering me up, you know, and then I've been learning a lot of wisdom from you, actually. Sorry, I'm like the fan talk. Okay, so can you please introduce yourself for those who don't know you?
Sure. First of all, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Wardah, for having me. And thank you all for still being here in our, what, 4 are we, of this beautiful summit? How is everyone feeling? Y'all good? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. I am so impressed that you all have energy. I just landed this morning at 6 a.m. So I'm very tired, but you all are giving me the energy I need. So thank you very much. And it's wonderful to meet you all. My name is Melanie. If I can say my name correctly, Melanie, like she said. I'm from New York. I'm originally from Detroit. I'm half Filipino and half. And I love what you said earlier today about not belonging anywhere, because growing up in America, my mom's side is Catholic, my dad's side is Muslim, Asian. In America, nowhere that I went did I fit in. At the masjid, I didn't fit in. With my mom's family, I didn't fit in. With the white people at school, I didn't fit in. I didn't belong anywhere. And I really believe that's the best lesson that you can learn as early as possible. You belong nowhere, you belong everywhere. You're you. And so my journey really started when I started wearing hijab in 9th grade. And I'm a fashionista. I was voted best dressed as a hijabi girl in an all-white school. Because I love fashion, I love to dress. And I'm sure like many of you all look so beautiful. I love to dress. And the hijab was always an issue. I'd have this beautiful outfit, and then the hijab would just kill the whole thing. And so I was like, this is the 90s. I was like, there's got to be some solution. So I used to go to thrift stores and find vintage scarves, not unlike kind of like a print that I'm wearing now. And I would wear those as hijab. And my friends would be like, where did you get your hijab from? Because we were all getting our hijabs from like overseas, wherever your parents were from. And they were not of the greatest quality. And so from there, my love for hijab was really born. First and foremost, for what it represents. I started this company called Haute Hijab after law school. And here I am 13 years later. So we're the largest U.S. hijab brand. If you could switch to the other side, the next slide really quickly. I just wanted to show something quickly. And what I wanted to exist in the world was for hijab to just look beautiful. I just wanted it to be beauty. I didn't want it to be a political statement. I didn't want it to be anything other than just one that's so beautiful. And I remember when we launched our luxury collection in New York, all of these different fashion magazine outlets and things like this were reaching out to us. And they were just struck by how beautiful it was. And I was like, wow, alhamdulillah, that's really what I set out to do, is just make hijab beautiful and allow every woman who chooses to wear it feel beautiful. That's all I've ever wanted to do, and alhamdulillah, that's what sustains me today. So sorry for the lengthy intro, but that's awesome, all perfect. Thank you.
So, mashallah, like, by the way, I'm like one of those, I would say like late hijabis, that actually had a lot of processing before wearing hijab. And one of the problems, I'm really ashamed to say that, but it was a wedding dress issue. Like, how am I gonna wear a white dress, which looks like a princess dress, and wear hijab? And subhanAllah, of course I Google like hijabi is getting married, and then I see, I don't like it. I'm like, I don't like it. And I don't remember which year it was, but I never seen this. And then somehow I saw this picture, like exactly this one, subhanAllah, like this is for real. And I couldn't order it because at that time for me, it was expensive. It is very luxurious. And I'm like, a recent graduate, and my husband is a startup founder, so we're like, let's economy, let's find another way. And I got inspired by this, and I told my designer friend, hey, can we make something? It was a little bit similar, but will not cost that much, And subhanAllah, thank you for, creating this. I was so happy. I was feeling so pretty. And when people ask me like, hey, where is this idea from? This is not my idea. This is actually from Out Hijab, and the original version, the full a jewelry looking gown you can find actually there. So this helped me, and I do believe that it helped a lot of American Muslim women. And as a pioneer of modest fashion in the United States and in the West, I would believe, because I never heard about European modest fashion brands when you started it. What are the challenges that you faced to be accepted in the market, or what were the ways that you, made your message clear and you reached your customers?
Believe it or not, this is so sad to have to admit, but here we are and it's the truth. The biggest obstacle I had in the beginning, this is 2010, was making sure that my customer base, aka American Muslim women, felt comfortable purchasing from a Muslim-owned company. And that was because, well, there's many reasons, but unfortunately, Muslim-owned companies at that time specifically, especially, were seen as not very professional. They might scam you. They weren't seen as very organized. It just wasn't a good look. And so I knew from the very beginning that every single touch point, from the second you're on the website, to ordering, to getting the product, to getting the email, every single thing, to the customer service, it had to be above 100%. It had to be 110%, because I had to prove to my community, who didn't believe in our own community, that you could believe in us, that this brand was something legitimate, professional, up to par with our Western,
branding maybe as well.
Right. And so that was in the beginning, was the biggest challenge. And alhamdulillah, we overcame that. Then I actually started with my ex-husband. We're no longer married. He's no longer with the brand, but we moved to Dubai. We lived there for 4 years, and from there we moved to New York City to focus on this full time. I left my legal career and he left his job behind. And then the next biggest challenge I had was growing the company. Alhamdulillah, we had the household name and a nice little cult following, but we wanted to grow. And so to you guys' point earlier about raising money, that fundraising process was the worst. Alhamdulillah, we ended up raising just under $6 million in the last 7 years.
$6 million, yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it is what it is. And I mean, if that's a lot, if that's a little, I'm not sure, but it was grueling. That I know for sure. It was grueling. And to be honest, I don't even know if that was the right move. It just was what we did at the time. And it's what allowed us to grow. It's what allowed us to do, if you go to the next slide too as well, we were able to then really go in on these different collections. This photo shoot was at the Plaza in New York City, which is one of the most iconic hotels in New York. And for me, it was really meaningful because it felt like we had really arrived, not just within the Muslim community now that we had built this name, but also in the mainstream. And that to me was also very important, was ensuring that the mainstream understood we wear hijab and we're not going anywhere. And we're going to look beautiful while we wear it. And we're going to be confident and we're going to feel comfortable. And that has always been what's driven me. And so that process of raising money in order to grow in this way was grueling, but it was necessary for that growth. And now today, I feel like we're in our third chapter of HH. Now today, the challenge that I'm presented with is funding the business in a non-venture capital path.
Yes.
Because relying on that money isn't always the best at times. and we need to determine our own destiny. So long story short, if you're taking venture capital money, it's very, very rare that you're actually profitable, which goes against the whole idea of business. You want to be profitable, but they want to make sure that you keep burning money. Why? So that you can keep raising money. It's a whole cycle. And I'm not here to debate the philosophy of fundraising, but for us, we're in a stage now where I'm not trying to really take on any more venture capital funding. If I did, it would have to be for a very specific expansion growth project. It's the first year since we've started fundraising that we've become profitable. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
And there's no reason we shouldn't have been. We're profitable from the first order, but when you take that VC money, it doesn't, it's not conducive to you growing a healthy brand that's relying on your shift in the way that we operate so that we can become profitable. Because my goal at the end of the day is to be that billion-dollar company so that we can give back in the way Wardah is doing and be that philanthropic company and serve our customer first and foremost. But I know I'm not the only one in here, and who feels the same way. And I feel as though sometimes in the Muslim community, and forgive me if I misspeak, I don't want to impose how I feel on the Indonesian culture, because you all may be like, what are you talking about? But certainly in the West, there is this almost fear of money and wealth in the Muslim community. Like somehow wealth is a bad thing. But wealth is power. And what we're seeing in the world today, the people who are wealthy and have money and have power, people are gonna have power anyway. So it might as well be given to those who are just, to those who will do good with their power, do good with their wealth, which is why I make dua every day that Allah makes this company, myself, wealthier beyond anything I can imagine, so I can give it. So when someone comes to me and says, I need to build a Shifa hospital, take the money and I'm not gonna build it for you, but here's the money. And it goes beyond the business. We're here collectively in Qatar together with all these beautiful faces from all these places around the world as one ummah. We've been watching for the last 6 weeks what's been happening to our ummah. And so if we don't collectively rise up, first as individuals and then as a collective together to harness the power that we all have, we're gonna remain low. And I know that the religion of the Rasul ﷺ was not meant to be low. So, I feel I have a greater purpose beyond even this company. It's to elevate the community, to elevate the ummah, to elevate all of us as individuals. Feel inspired to, who was talking about our personal journeys just before this? Maybe it was you. Was it you? Yeah, it was just you, just now, yeah. We are on our personal journeys and each of us have to execute and fulfill whatever that looks like for us.
Wow.
Sorry again.
Please don't do this. You're like inspiring and making the tears come out. I'm trying to keep my Musera alive. MashaAllah, no. I can totally feel you, like being in a startup ecosystem for, like as I said, for the several years now. Fundraising, I've been actually the person that, invest in startups, but it is an artificial way of boosting the startup success. And that's where the concept of a startup came up, right? Where we don't do the traditional way. We don't do the right way. We cheat in a way, So I really like this concept. I'm open-minded. I'm still in the venture capital, I'm sorry. But I try to do it in an ethical way and Islamic way with Sharia compliance and everything. And try to also learn from the experts in the field because we have so many, especially in Indonesia, And but what you're saying is the fact, And unfortunately, even like the Islamic ones are not being that successful because it's so hard to find this balance, between where like you're being a successful venture capital that does like ethically treat startups and like raise and grow, because you still have to push for fundraising. You still have to, dominate the founder a bit and manipulate in a way that things are your way. So it is tough, I do believe. So inshallah, I really hope that Oat Hijab can continue growing
and hopefully you will be the next Paragon Corp. I mean, I believe you can do it. And Alt Hijab, for those who don't know, it's an e-commerce, modest fashion. You don't have an offline shop yet. But like, how do you keep authenticity? Because nowadays we have so many e-commerces that are modest fashion, and especially in the US, I can see the rise, and there's Gen Z styles. There's like so many different like sports, etc., etc. It's getting so wild. But I know that Alt Hijab is still there. Like, how do you do that? And what is your strategy to keep the brand that everybody looks up?
I gotta be me. I have to be me, I have to be me, I have to be me. Like, before authenticity was like this buzzword, I think we all strove to be authentic. We all wanted to be ourselves. We all wanted to express the highest version of whoever we are. And so I am someone, however, that is especially allergic to fake. Like, I can't, I don't know how. And I think that's why I've been successful, because people can see, agree with me or disagree with me, I am being a genuine version of myself. And I'm very unapologetic about who I am. And so one thing that we've seen that's really interesting as our demographic of customers also is getting older is, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys, I know, sorry to bring up music, but I don't know if you guys listen to Adele, but she was being interviewed about her latest album, and they were talking about how she had music executives being like, you need to make these TikTok friendly songs, and she was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. She's like, who's gonna make the music for my generation? I wanna be the person to speak to my generation. That's how I feel. I'm, well into my 30s now. I'm divorced. I'm in a stage of my life where just me speaking about my personal experiences, I know is creating this base of a collective of women who have gone through something similar to me, that have followed me along on my journey since my early 20s online. So to be able to kind of grow with the community that's surrounded this brand together has been a really beautiful thing. To see newcomers come in is such a beautiful thing, because this is an everlasting ecosystem. It's not going to end. And so I have to be authentic to who I am, and whoever aligns with me will come along for the journey. And if you're not aligned with me, that's okay. You'll find somebody else who aligns to you, and that's beautiful. We were talking about community earlier. I think it was Barry who was talking about it. Yes, this notion of community. And so whoever that is, however small, however big, it doesn't matter to me. Come one, come all. If my message resonates with you, beautiful. I'm here for you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Beautiful. There's so many people out there like that could better suit somebody. So
Yeah, mashallah. So this actually is totally Islamic. It's a concept of barakah. So the rizqi, so like something that Allah has prepared to you, it's already destined. So it will take yours if it's yours. So I love that, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still, help you with the growth of your business and achieve your dreams, inshallah, for Dunya and Melanie. Thank you so much. I would like to transition to Ayana. So Ayana is a Korean Muslimah. She's a very inspirational personality for Indonesians and Malaysians, I know, because, in Asia in general, we love everything Korean, made in Korea. Ayana is Korean, made in Korea. Can you see the screen? MashaAllah. So Ayana is also a businesswoman. I know she has a few ventures, different projects. She's a student at IIUM University in Malaysia. And she's a brand ambassador for WardahBeauty for the last 2 years, 3 years? No, 6 years. Wow, okay, I'm so sorry. 6 years. MashaAllah. Can you please share about yourself, Ayana?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요 lagi. I'm Ayana Jaemun from South Korea. Maybe I will add more bit my intro. I'm Korean Muslim. I convert before I think 11 years ago when I was in high school. And then now I'm a student and also a brand ambassador WardahBeauty for 6 years. And also at the same time, I work in political field. I handle like some campaigns in Korea. And also now I'm doing my own business. I became the first ever CEO as a Muslim in South Korea in 2022, and then now I already, at the time the company was already scale-up company, but then now I already spin off my company, and then now I found my startup, so I'm just doing all the things. Yes, alhamdulillah.
Wow, mashallah. Machine 요정인데 진짜. A little bit of Korean I used to study in Korea, but I lost it. I have to practice it. Mashallah. So, can you share about your experience of becoming a Muslim and about your hijab journey? I know you have a book about it, by the way. She has a book about it. If you get the chance, please do read. Very interesting story, but maybe in a shorter way you could kind of summarize so we can get a feel of it.
Oh, sure. I knew about Islam because of Iraq War. At the time, my grandfather was a general, and then he actually represent our country, and then he went to U.S. And then whenever he came to my home, he always like share what he saw in U.S. Like usually like the protest from the Muslim side, and then he told me like Islam is like crazy religion. They are religion of terrorism, like all the same things all the time. So like I at the time searched the internet, and then I found out that there is like 1 billion of Muslims in the world, around 1 billion, 1.5 now, I think 1.5. But then I asked my grandfather, I do understand if you say that 100 people are terrorists, 1,000 people are terrorists, 10,000 people are terrorists, but I cannot trust that if you say that 1 billion people are terrorists. That's actually my first time to know about Islam, and then actually that drove me to study more about Islam. And then I studied like for quite long, and then when I was in high school, I decided to convert. So actually that's quite, actually if I summarize, then that's the main story. So yeah, so I became Muslim at the time.
So when you became Muslim, how old were you?
I was 16, now 27.
You're not so mashallah. 11 years of being Muslim.
Sorry?
Is it 11 years of being Muslim? Mashallah.
Yeah, 11 years.
So when you became Muslim, did you start to wear hijab immediately? What's your hijab journey? Like I'm Muslim, but I started since birth. I started to wear hijab when I was 22.
No, I didn't wear hijab, of course, because I was in high school. I had to wear a school uniform. I love my hair. But then once I moved to, it's like my hijrah journey, I moved to Malaysia in 2017 because I was already a student of one of the most prestigious universities in South Korea. But then I found out that I could not learn Islam anywhere. And like if you go to university, you can learn about Christianity, Catholic, Buddhism, whatever. Even there is pseudo religion, the class about pseudo religion, but no Islam. But then like at that time I wanted to be a politician, and then I just like thought like, if one day I want to run for the election and then people ask me about my identity as a Muslim, I couldn't answer anything because I didn't know about Islam at all. So like I decided to move to Malaysia so that I enter Islamic University. But when I entered Islamic University and then when I went to Malaysia, I found out that all people wear hijab, and then I'm a political science student. So my approach was quite political. When I saw the Malaysian society, it's divided 3 ethnicities. Malay, Chinese, Indian. And then if I wear hijab, then all the makcik, the Malaysian aunties, they feel more comfortable with me rather than Chinese Malaysian. But I'm Korean, they are Malaysian, but the Malaysian makcik love me more. So I realized, okay, that's my way. I have to wear hijab to belong to the society. Why? I have to survive in the society. I didn't have family, I was alone, I didn't have money. How I could survive in the society? I had to be into the society. That's my first reason to start to wear hijab.
Wow, so that's like completely different from what we experience, I believe, right? It's like you wanted to belong, we wanted to show we belong, everyone belong at the same time. So it's kind of, but that's amazing. It's basically Malaysia boosted your like Islamic awareness there, and then you felt more visually show that now you're a Muslim.
Like honestly, at the time I just wanted to survive in the society as alone, because like I had totally no support system there, so I had to survive. But then after that, I started to learn one by one. Because like, I mean, the reason why I can speak Bahasa Malaysia and Bahasa Indonesia a bit, the reason why I learn is to understand the society. And then it also can become my weapon in the society. So like once I started wearing hijab, I could understand what Islam teaches us. And then I could understand why they embrace Islam in real life. So like actually it could be the trigger to study more about Islam for me.
Oh yeah, I do understand that, mashallah. So I feel like once you start to wear hijab, you kind of have more reasons to improve. Because before hijab, what you tell yourself, I'm not good enough. I'm not like good enough as a Muslim, so I cannot really wear it. So I had that challenge, and I definitely relate with you that once you put hijab for whatever the reason you put it, it's kind of automatically start to get close to the like ilm, right? Awesome. I would like to ask you about your journey with Wardah, like how it started and what have you achieved so far together with Wardah?
Honestly, like Wardah influenced me a lot. And like what I'm doing is now, I think like somehow influenced by Wardah. Like for example, before this, I was alone. I didn't have money, but like alhamdulillah now I'm just financially stable. I'm not rich at all, but I'm stable. So that I found INA scholarship. That's something that Wardah also does to the society. And like I sponsor the tuition for female students, and like all the like activities that I'm doing in real life also influenced by Wardah. Like how we empower. I'm not the selfish person, but my personality is not the soft as people expect through my appearance. And like that's my personality. I always like say because like Korean people, and the Korean Muslims are a minority in society. But whenever they ask some advice, I always say that we can be born as a minority. It's not our fault. However, if you die as a minority, then that's your fault. I always say like that. So like sometimes people think that like my personality is like kind of not.
So for me, that was kind of like my take during those years. But at the same time, I never saw anyone on the TV who was wearing hijab, playing sports, in the Olympics, in all these sporting competitions. So there was no real push on top of that either for me to go professionally. And then at the same time, I kind of felt like maybe it is haram. Maybe there's something in the religion that says Muslim women shouldn't play sports. So over the years, I kind of stopped. So I stopped playing for 2 years, and then I found basketball. And when I found basketball, it was a time where I was so depressed. I felt like I hadn't played sports for a very long time, and I spoke to my dad. He encouraged me to play sports. He actually encouraged me to do something beyond sports. He was like, get your coaching qualifications, make sure that you can inspire other people from this thing. And I was just like, Baba, I just want to play sports. Like, I don't understand why you, like, what do you mean coaching and what do you mean inspiring and what do you mean all these different things. I just want to play. That's it. This whole conversation is just about that. And when he planted that seed and just let it kind of go, and then with time, subhanAllah, like I ended up being part of this campaign and being part of all this, like changing the rules for FIBA and allowing Muslim women to wear the hijab.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much. Beautiful story. I'm so impressed by this, to be honest. I'm also a former professional athlete, but unfortunately I didn't wear hijab, so I cannot like show off. You know, so but when I do hear about this inspirational hijab, the athlete stories, I'm like, MashaAllah, like they did what I couldn't. And you know, this gives me also strength and empowerment that the next generation of Muslim women will be unapologetic in that, you know, MashaAllah. So I have a quick question for you. What is your aspiration now?
That's a hard question.
In a few words, like maybe you would want to choose a priority right now. I believe there are many. One thing that you're aspiring right now.
I'm just trying to live, man. I feel like this year has been, me personally, has been the biggest changes in my life. I've moved countries, I got married, I like don't live close to my family and my parents anymore. So I'm actually just trying to survive out here. Like there's so much things no one told me about getting married that I'm finding out now. So the next stage of my life is probably trying to find that balance between, I would say, but not in a selfish way, because I wouldn't say that I was 100% selfish before, but even though I was to a certain extent, I'm now learning to be Esma, but still leave room for other people. Because I think throughout the years, I was like, Esma has to campaign, with these other women, for example, to change the rules. Esma has to travel to all the countries that she wants to do. Esma has to write a poetry book. Esma has to do all these things before she gets married. And now it's like, now that I'm married, I feel like there's still a fighter in me that's kind of like, if you don't let me do these things and I want to go and I want to fight in the world again, then I can't be, not that I would leave the marriage, but you know what I mean, like, I can't be here, I feel trapped. It's almost like I have to kind of find the beauty in actually slowing down and allowing, like, to create a change in my own home, in that small environment, rather than it having to be like a huge impact on the world on a global scale.
MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you. And to be honest, like, I know you're an athlete and a poet, but what inspired me the most today was your childhood story about your mom and how you look, like the answer that you gave to one of the questions, like, it just touched me so, deeply. And I do believe that there are more sides of you that, inshallah, you could also explore and share with other Muslim women, inshallah. So thank you so much for the session. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions because we're very close to Isha prayer. And but I feel like it was complete. I don't know, my heart is complete. Like today, I came here to make meaningful connections, just like the Chris Glover in the opening session was mentioning. Make sure you make meaningful connections. I believe I made them, and I believe that you all made them. And I heard meaningful stories that inspired me, and I do believe they inspired you. So thank you so much for everyone who came from so far to be here and to share your experience and achievements with us. And thank you so much for GMW and Wardah with Paragon Corp for making this happen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's take a picture.